Shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 0015 on Thursday the 1st of January. There are warnings of gales in Viking, North Sierra, South Sierra, Forties, Cromarty, Forth, Tyne, Dogger, Fisher, German Bight, Humber, Thames, Trafalgar, Fitzroy, Malin, Hebrides, Bailey, Fair Isle, Faroes and South East Iceland. The general synopsis at 1800. Low Norwegian Sea 988, expected southern Sweden 973 by 1800 New Year's Day. New low expected just west of Fitzroy 990 by same time. The area forecast for the next 24 hours. Viking, northwest 5 to 7, increasing gale 8 to storm 10, then veering north 6 to gale 8 later. Squally wintry showers, good becoming moderate, occasionally poor. North Sierra, South Sierra, northerly or northwesterly 7 to severe gale 9, occasionally 6 at first. Squally wintry showers, good, occasionally poor. Forties, Cromarty, Forth, Tyne, Dogger, Fisher. Northwest 7 to severe gale 9. Squally showers, becoming wintry, good, occasionally moderate. German Bight, Humber. West veering northwest 7 to severe gale 9. Showers becoming squally, moderate or good, occasionally poor at first. Thames. West veering northwest later 6 to gale 8. Showers becoming squally, good, occasionally moderate. Dover, White. West veering northwest 4 to 6. Showers, good. Portland, Plymouth. Variable 2 to 4, becoming northwest 3 to 5. Showers, good. Biscay, east backing northeast 2 to 4. Fair, good. Trafalgar, south 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later. Occasional rain, moderate or poor. Southwest Fitzroy, southeasterly 6 to gale 8. Rain, moderate or poor. Northeast Fitzroy, Seoul. Easterly 4 to 6, occasionally 7 in northeast Fitzroy. Showers, good. Lundy, Fastnet, north or northwest 3 to 5. Showers, good. Irish Sea, northwest 5 to 7, perhaps gale 8 later. Showers, good. Shannon, variable 2 to 4, becoming north 3 to 5. Fair, good. Rockall, north or northwest 4 to 6. Showers, good. Malin, Hebrides, Bailey, north or northwest 6 to gale 8. Squally wintry showers, good, occasionally moderate. Fair Isle, Faroes, north or northwest 7 to severe gale 9, occasionally storm 10 at first. Squally snow showers, moderate, occasionally poor. East-southeast Iceland, northerly or northwesterly 6 to gale 8, occasionally severe gale 9 at first. Squally snow showers, moderate or poor. West-southeast Iceland, westerly or northwesterly 4 to 6, veering northerly 5 to 7. Fair, good. And now the weather reports from coastal stations for 2300. Tyree automatic, northwest 6, rain, 1800 metres, 1014, falling more slowly. Stornoway, northwest by north 6, recent precipitation, 22 miles, 1011, now falling. Lerwick, northwest 5, 16 miles, 994, falling more slowly. Wick automatic, northwest by west 6, recent precipitation, 9 miles, 1003, falling. Aberdeen, northwest by west 4, slight rain, 6 miles, 1006, falling more slowly. Lucas, west-southwest 3, more than 38 miles, 1008, falling more slowly. Bulmer, southwest 3, 32 miles, 1010, falling. Bridlington, west by south 3, 1013, falling. Sandusky light vessel automatic, west by south 5, 11 miles, 1020. Greenwich light vessel automatic, west 5, 11 miles, 1021. St Catherine's Point automatic, west by north 4, 1022, falling. Jersey, south 1, 19 miles, 1024, falling. Channel line vessel automatic, west-northwest 3, 11 miles, 1023. Scilly automatic, east-southeast 3, slight rain, 13 miles, 1024, falling. Milford Haven, west-northwest 3, 30 miles, 1022, falling. Aberporth, west by north 5, 24 miles, 1022, falling. Valley, west by north 4, 16 miles, 1020, falling. Liverpool Crosby, west by south 6, slight rain, 5 miles, 1018, falling. Valencia, east 1, 9 miles, 1024, falling. Ronaldsway, west-southwest 5, slight rain, 11 miles, 1018, falling. Mallin west-northwest 6, 13 miles, 1017, falling. Machrihanish automatic, west-northwest 7, recent precipitation, 14 miles, 1014, falling quickly. And now here's the weather forecast for the inshore waters of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, valid for the following 24 hours, issued by the Met Office at 2300 on Wednesday the 31st of December. The general situation. An area of high pressure over southwestern parts of England will decline as an increasingly strong, cold and showery northwesterly airflow spreads southwards across the United Kingdom. The airflow will become particularly strong and cold across northeastern waters on New Year's Day, where severe gales will be accompanied by heavy snow showers. Cape Wrath to Rattray Head, including Orkney. Northwesterly 7 to severe gale 9, occasionally storm 10 at first near Orkney. Squally, wintry showers, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Rattray Head to Berwick upon Tweed. Northwest 6 to gale 8, increasing severe gale 9 for a time near Rattray Head. Squally showers, becoming wintry, good, occasionally poor. Berwick upon Tweed to Whitby. West veering northwest 6 to gale 8. Showers, becoming wintry later, good, occasionally moderate later. Whitby to Gibraltar Point. West veering northwest 6 to gale 8. Showers becoming wintry later, good, occasionally moderate later. Gibraltar Point to North Foreland. Westerly 5 to 7, veering northwesterly 6 to gale 8. Showers for a time, good. North Foreland to Salsybill. Westerly veering northwesterly 4 to 6, occasionally 7 later near North Foreland. Showers for a time, good. Salsybill to Lyme Regis. West veering northwest 4 to 6, occasionally 3 at first. Showers for a time, good. Lyme Regis to Land's End, including the Isles of Scilly. Variable 2 to 4, becoming northwesterly 3 to 5. Showers for a time, good, occasionally moderate in west. Land's End to St David's Head, including the Bristol Channel. West 2 to 4, veering northwest 4 to 6. Showers, good, occasionally moderate. St David's Head to Great Orme Head, including St George's Channel. West 4 to 6, veering northwest 5 to 7. Showers, good, occasionally moderate. Great Orme Head to the Mull of Galloway. West veering northwest 5 to 7. Showers, wintry later, good, occasionally moderate. Isle of Man. West veering northwest 6 or 7, occasionally 5 later. Showers, wintry later, good, occasionally moderate. Loch Foyle to Carlingford Loch. Westerly veering northwesterly 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later in north. Squally showers, wintry later, good, occasionally moderate. Mull of Galloway to the Mull of Kintyre, including the Firth of Clyde and the North Channel. Westerly veering northwesterly 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later. Squally showers, wintry later, good, occasionally moderate. Mull of Kintyre to Ardnamurchan Point. Northwest veering north later 6 to gale 8. Squally showers, becoming wintry, moderate or good, occasionally poor at first. Hard American Point to Cape Rock. Northwest veering north 6 to gale 8, occasionally severe gale 9 near Cape Rock. Squally showers becoming wintry, moderate or good, occasionally poor. And the Shetland Isles, north or northwest 7 to severe gale 9, occasionally storm 10 at first. Squally snow showers, moderate or good, occasionally poor. That completes the shipping bulletin, which of course means we're reaching the end of our day's broadcasting here on Radio 4. We'll be back on air on Radio 4 at 5 in the morning with my colleague Jane Still. As you may be aware, there's high drama at Ambridge at the moment, and across New Year's Day here on Radio 4 we're celebrating the Archers at 75. At 10 a.m. we've got an Archers-themed Woman's Hour. There's a special edition of This Week in History just before 3. And after tonight's episode of The Archers, we've a brand new Archers drama, Truth and Lies, and an Archers podcast for the first time airing on Radio 4. Much to come, but this is John Hammond at Broadcasting House in London, wishing you, wherever you are, a Happy New Year.
At 1 o'clock GMT, the UK has rung in the new year. Welcome to 2026. On the newsroom with me, Rachel Wright, Donald Trump says he's pulling the National Guard out of 3 US cities. In his New Year address, President Zelensky expresses his hope for peace.
Новый рік. In a few minutes, a new year will arrive, and I will give everything so that in this address I could say that peace, too, would arrive in a few minutes.
But President Putin talks of total victory. More US sanctions on Venezuelan companies. Bulgaria bids goodbye to the lev after 144 years. We take a wry look at the sour state of British politics and...
For men, you've got your urinal, you unzip, off you go. For women, you've got to find the cubicle, open the door, shut the door, take your trousers down, sit down, and then reverse the procedure.
The campaign to build more toilets for women. First, a bulletin of world news.
Hello, I'm David Harper with the BBC News. President Trump has said his administration is removing the National Guard from Chicago, Los Angeles and Portland. State leaders had originally opposed the move, saying it was an authoritarian overreach and launched a string of legal challenges. Sanjay Dasgupta reports.
In a social media post, President Trump said he had decided to remove the National Guard from the 3 cities, despite the fact, he said, that crime had been greatly reduced by the presence of the federal forces. He'd sent troops into the 3 cities run by Democrats for what he said was a crackdown on illegal immigration and crime. Mr. Trump warned that the federal forces would come back if crime rates went up again. The move comes just days after the U.S. Supreme Court blocked the deployment of federal forces in the Chicago area by a 6-3 judgment.
President Volodymyr Zelensky has said Ukraine is not prepared to sign a weak peace agreement with Russia that would only prolong the war. In a New Year's address, he estimated 90% of a peace deal have been agreed during intensive talks involving the US and European leaders in the past few weeks. But he said the remaining 10% would determine the fate of Ukraine and Europe. The US Treasury Department says it is imposing sanctions on 4 companies it said were operating in Venezuela's oil sector, specifically targeting 4 vessels. The Treasury statement said the firms and vessels targeted were evading sanctions for the Venezuelan government. The latest move marks a further ramping up of the Trump administration's pressure campaign on Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, with an increased military presence in the region and more than 24 strikes on vessels the US alleges were trafficking drugs. The US Coast Guard says it is searching for survivors of an American military strike against a convoy of suspected drug trafficking boats in the Pacific Ocean. The strike was carried out on the orders of the US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Warren Bull reports.
The US military said it had killed what it called 3 narco-terrorists aboard a vessel traveling in international waters. It added that several people on 2 other boats had jumped overboard before the vessels were sunk. The military posted a video of the vessels being hit, but provided no evidence that they were engaged in criminal activity. The Trump administration has carried out more than 30 strikes against suspected drug boats in the Pacific and the Caribbean since September, killing at least 110 people. Rights groups say the strikes appear to amount to extrajudicial killings.
The Syrian authorities say a suicide bomber has attacked a police patrol in Aleppo, killing one member of the security forces and wounding several others. The authorities said the attacker blew himself up as officers tried to detain him in the Bab al Faraj neighborhood of Aleppo, Syria's largest city. An Interior Ministry spokesperson told state-run media that the suspect was believed to have links to the Islamic State group, but no group has said that it carried out the attack. This is David Harper in London with the latest world news from the BBC. The authorities in central India have sacked a municipal official and suspended 2 others after at least 7 people died of drinking contaminated water. Reports said more than 2,000 people have fallen ill in the past week after consuming water supplied by the corporation in the city of Indore. Preliminary investigations indicated wastewater may have entered the drinking water supply. Bulgaria has become the 21st country to join the Eurozone, nearly 20 years after it joined the European Union. It is giving up the lev, its currency, for more than 140 years. Public opinion is split. Those in favour believe it will promote stability, boost the economy and reinforce ties to the West, protecting against Russian influence. Opponents fear inflation, speculation and the loss of national sovereignty. In the Africa Cup of Nations men's football tournament, Ivory Coast mounted a late comeback to beat Gabon 3-2 and finished top of Group F. Cameroon qualified in second place after beating Mozambique 2-1. Britain, Portugal and some West African nations, including Senegal and Ghana, are among the latest to see in the new year. In London, around 100,000 people gathered on the banks of the River Thames for a spectacular fireworks display. There was a similar-sized gathering in Edinburgh at the Hogmanay Street Party. Thomas Nardi is in the Ghanaian capital, Accra.
We just witnessed a spectacular display of fireworks here at the Blaster Square overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. It lit up the night skies with vibrant colors and dazzling parties. What a way to welcome the new year in a country widely regarded as the center of the earth.
And earlier in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, revelers saw in 2026 with a fireworks and laser show at the world's tallest building. But there were muted celebrations in Ukraine due to Russia's ongoing invasion of the country. And that's the latest BBC News.
You're listening to the newsroom from the BBC World Service with me, Rachel Wright. In the final hours of 2025, Donald Trump announced he was withdrawing federal troops from 3 U.S. cities, Los Angeles, Chicago and Portland. Over the course of the year, the president has deployed the National Guard to several Democrat-run cities. He claims they were needed to crack down on rampant crime and help with immigration enforcement.
I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, they interviewed about 12 people. Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send it. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified.
But Democrats criticized the move as an unnecessary and unconstitutional abuse of power, and several legal challenges were filed to block the deployments. Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that it was illegal to send troops to Chicago, citing a long-standing law against using the military as a domestic police force. And now President Trump has announced they would be withdrawing, claiming that crime rates in the 3 cities have been reduced. But he said federal authorities could return if crime rose again. Our correspondent in Washington, Sean Dilley, told me more.
Some courts have given the federal government temporary permission to carry on with their deployments in some areas, but he's been facing an awful lot of legal challenges, and there are now several judges who've said that it's a federal overreach to use these powers to deploy the National Guard in various places across the United States, and there is not evidence that it's necessary to send troops in to protect property, and in particular to protect federal property, because while the National Guard obviously would normally be aligned to a state, they can, under some circumstances, be deployed by the federal government. it's all a question of proportionality. An awful lot of people think the deployment is quite an extreme reaction, particularly in Washington, D.C., from where I speak to you now. The National Guard are absolutely everywhere. On an individual basis, of course, they are extremely friendly when it comes to tourists and people locally here. But it is still the case that it's controversial. In Washington, D.C., President Trump had essentially at one point overtaken the local law enforcement department, the Metropolitan Police Department, and he has consistently argued that crime is soaring and something needs to be done. But his critics have suggested that he's been exaggerating isolated incidents at largely peaceful protests to justify the sending in of the troops.
Is there any evidence that the security situation has changed at all in any of these cities as a result of the National Guard presence?
It's almost a little bit early to say because those annual crime statistics would not be in the same way. Certainly President Trump claims that crime levels have come down in those areas. But no, I mean, there's no magic bullet there that says, right, okay, crime was at this level, the National Guard came in on this date, and he's been deploying them since June in various places across the United States. Nowhere can we say, well, hang on a minute, that's definitively reduced crime.
And what's the situation like in the other cities where Trump has deployed the National Guard?
There are still National Guards deployed here in Washington, D.C. There are National Guards deployed in Memphis and in New Orleans. An awful lot of people protesting about that, an awful lot of people very unhappy about it. Legal challenges do continue. And likewise, what's happened is in these areas where there have been protests not just about the National Guard, but based upon the policies of the federal government on immigration and other such matters, the deployments remain incredibly controversial. I think what makes this particular decision to withdraw the troops in Portland and LA and in Chicago, what makes it notable is if these have led to withdrawals of National Guard, could places like Memphis be next?
Sean Dilley in Washington. Well, with very little indication that Russia's military invasion of Ukraine is drawing to a close, President Volodymyr Zelensky has used his New Year's address to declare that Ukraine is not prepared to sign a weak peace agreement with Russia, insisting all it would do is prolong the war.
In a few minutes, a new year will arrive, and I will give everything in this world, so that in this address I could say that peace, too, would arrive in a few minutes. Sadly, I cannot yet say that. But with a clear conscience, I and all of us can say this: Ukraine is doing everything possible for peace.
But he did express some optimism, estimating that around 90% of the peace agreement had been agreed, following weeks of intensive talks involving the US and European leaders. In his New Year's speech, President Putin took a very different tone, expressing confidence in total victory.
You've taken on the responsibility of fighting for your homeland, for truth and justice. Millions of people across Russia, I assure you, are with you on this New Year's Eve. They're thinking of you, empathizing with you, hoping for you. We're united in our sincere, selfless and devoted love for Russia. I congratulate all our soldiers and commanders on the coming new year. We believe in you and in our victory.
Earlier, both Ukraine and the EU's senior diplomat, Kaja Kallas, had poured scorn on Moscow's claims that Ukraine had launched a massive drone attack on President Putin's residence in Novgorod, hours after Mr. Zelensky's talks in Florida with Donald Trump. Well, we're joined by our reporter, Will Vernon. Will, it's a relatively upbeat message from President Zelensky and a defiant one from the Kremlin. How should we interpret this state of affairs in this nearly 4-year war?
Well, I mean, things haven't changed significantly on the battlefield in the last year. Yes, the Russians have made some small gains, but, you know, at a really kind of glacially slow pace. They haven't even managed to fully capture the strategic city of Pokrovsk, which I think we were talking about on this program maybe 2 months ago. I was in Kiev a year ago today, and the mood among Ukrainians was much the same as it is now, right? Weariness, yes, exhaustion, but also defiance, right? And a refusal to kind of bend the knee to Moscow. But it is undeniable that the Russian army has the advantage, and Ukraine